Welcome to Homework Lib.
We're going to draw the structures for these three compounds. Remember that when we're drawing a structural formula, the carbon atoms are going to be the vertices in between the lines that we're going to have. So for the first one, for A, we're going to have substituents on 3 and 4 positions. We're going to have two chlorine atoms, and by the suffix of "nol," we know that this is going to be an alcohol. So since this is a cyclohexane, we're going to have 6 carbon atoms. Here we can clean up a little bit the structure just to make it easier for ourselves. On the first carbon atom, we're going to have an OH corresponding to the alcohol. And in positions 3 and 4, we're going to have 3 chlorine atoms. So the numeration starts with the carbon atom with the alcohol. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the ones with chlorine atoms are going to be the following: chlorine and chlorine. So normally in organic chemistry, this is enough because we assume that the hydrogen atoms that are left are going to be contained already in our structure. So now for B, we're going to have 2,3-dibromo. So look at positions 2 and 3. 4-ethyl, and we're going to have F2-ene. So my basic structure is going to be 7 carbon atoms coming from the suffix -eth, and we know that we're going to have a double bond at position 2. So let's start with my compound: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 carbon atoms. We know that in positions 2 and 3, I'm going to have bromine atoms, so bromine and bromine. Remember that we are always going to start the numeration on one of the ends of the alkene in this case. And in the position 4, we're going to have an ethyl, which corresponds to 2 carbon atoms, 1 and 2. So this is going to be the structural formula for this compound. Let's just clean up the numbers that we employed as reference, and we can continue with the last one, that is 2-methylbutanoic acid. So we're going to have a carboxylic acid. We know that it is going to contain 4 carbon atoms, and in carbon number 2, we're going to have a methyl group. So let's begin by drawing the structure. 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms. Let's put the numeration here: 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the first carbon atom, we're going to have the carboxylic acid group. So double bond oxygen, OH. And in carbon number 2, we're going to have a methyl group. So we're going to simply draw one line going down, corresponding to a CH3. So this would be the structural formula for this compound. Now, in terms of the functional groups that we need to identify, over here on compound C, this section corresponds to carboxylic acid. On compound A, the OH corresponds to an alcohol. The chlorine atoms are going to be halogens. And in compound B, we're going to have as well, the bromines are going to be as well halogens. And over here, we're going to have an alkene group, or something corresponding for an alkene. So with that, it would be all. Thank you very much, and have a good one.